boy.
To clinch her second title of the season. Indeed. Brandon. There it is. Nice. Bang.
Winning shot. Simo.
Landmark Lanes has had such an historical perspective here for professional bowling in Central Illinois, and now the Professional Women's Bowling Association has returned professional bowling back to Central Illinois, right here in Peoria to be specific. Good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Again, welcome to Landmark Lanes as we get you set for the stepladder finals of the 2025 Peoria Regional. Emil Williams Jr. along with Courtney Ermish and Jason Thomas on the ones and twos. We've got our top four set. It took a little bit longer than anticipated to get that top four set, Courtney, but in the end, we watched Jenna Williams and thinking in the moment that she certainly would still have an opportunity, and based on the scores that we had, she would have been fourth, but the longer we waited, the more scores we got, and of course the most important one was Christine Polanski, who shot 224 to move to plus 83 and snagged the number 4 seed, and she will open things up against the number 3 seed in Melanie McDaniel. We talked about the difficulty of this pattern throughout the tournament and qualifying this morning. 41 feet, but it was frankly brutal on the fresh, to be exact. How do we see and how do you foresee both of these players coming out and trying to attack this 41-foot lane condition?
Yeah, so far I definitely think they're a little bit farther, I shouldn't say farther left, but they're a little bit straighter but left, right? I think we kind of saw some people trying to play maybe too far right or then too far left, creating angles. I feel like everyone around here, again, we're kind of off to the side, but it kind of looks like they're around that 14, 15, and then trying to get it to that tracer board that we discussed. So, you know, kind of, again, trying to keep everything in front of you and make it playable. Trying to avoid what we saw that first game. And again, that's the thing, though. I would, you know, I don't know so much, I guess, but I know obviously Brittany has been in this spot. We know Melanie has made a show. Brandy has 2 shows. So they have the knowledge of going, okay, I probably might have to change what I did on fresh because that, unless it worked. But some of these bowlers, it didn't, you know, so.
No doubt about it. We'll talk about Brittany's strategy. She is the number 2 seed. Top seed is Brandy Kordoleski, formerly Brandy Branca. Had a phenomenal day. It's their first PWBA event, speaking of Brandy, since the 2022 PWBA Tour Championship. And she's back like she never left, in position to win her first career PWBA title of any kind. Again, 3 of the 4 players, not including Brittany Smith, are looking to win their first PWBA title, again, regional or national. Melanie, I believe Damon said, chose to begin the match. McDaniel, again, the number 3 seed, had a big 277 game in Game 7, which was kind of the game. Like, that was the one that put her in position to make the show. And then, of course, in Game 8, all she did was pad that number and move up a spot from 4th to 3rd. And, of course, seeding important in that. She finished at plus 109. Brittany Smith second at plus 115. Brandy Kordoleski had 2 games sub 200, 194 and 185 on the scorecard today. She finished at plus 170, an average of 221. She out-averaged Brittany Smith, who was in second, by 7 pins, to give you more context. And Christine Polanski shooting 224. In fact, Christine's first 4 games on the fresh, minus 43. Her last 4, plus 126.
So you kind of want to think, right, she's in that state where she's obviously probably going to try something a little different than she did on fresh, and trying to get to what she did those last 3 games, 4 games, quicker.
First shot, Melanie McDaniel with the Gremlin. And a 9-pin. I don't know if that's good or bad. You hit the pocket, threw a great shot, but you were met with a 9-pin.
Yeah, it looked like it may have been a little bit in. That could be, again, we talked about, right? That gremlin might be a little bit cleaner, so it doesn't, you know, maybe lay off.
Good spare, good opening frame, good opening shot for Melanie McDaniel. 35 years of age, head coach at Governor State University. She's going into year number 3. Speaking of Melanie as the leader of that program, brand spanking new a couple years ago. And now to Christine Polanski. As you recall, Courtney, I spent 5 games trying to remember what her maiden name was because I knew it wasn't Polanski. No disrespect, Dylan. Congratulations on your nuptials. But I knew that wasn't her last name. First shot for Christine. Good shot. Christine and Dylan married February 24th, 2024. So they went with the 2/24/24. Hard to not remember that one. So good job, Dylan. She is the marketing operations director at Legal Financial. So handles a lot of event coordination there as well. She's got some history here at Landmark Lanes with the McKendree Bearcats. That's her alma mater. And she's got an early double. Christine and Brandy were collegiate teammates at McKendree. They actually drove here together.
I did hear that the joke was, who's going to walk home?
And their respective husbands, hello Andrew, are currently watching Brandy and Andrew's daughter, Chloe.
Correct.
The dads doing their thing. I'm all for dads. Good shot there for Melmac as she wraps a 10-pin. Again, good afternoon, good evening. And if you're Holson who happens to be up very early, good morning. I think it's a little bit too early for Holson to even be up at this point.
You never know, though. He might be somebody that wakes up at 2 a.m. to watch.
Well, normally he wouldn't do that. I feel like if he knew Melanie was bowling right now, he might have waken up. But if Verity or Liz Johnson is bowling,
He's definitely.
it doesn't matter what time it is, he's waking up. So Melanie here with a 9-pin and a wrap 10. We'll see what frame 3 will provide.
So that looked in again.
Now a 4-pin. Now, this is something that we saw a little bit on the fresh. And what I'm saying is, if you recall, Courtney, there were several players, a lot of 9-spare, 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 which was really good at that time because we got a full 8-game block. The scoring pace wasn't high at the time.
Right.
This is a completely different situation. 1-game match, and your opponent starts with a good double. It wasn't like an accidental double. She threw 2 no-doubters. How long before Melanie might have to abandon maybe plan number 1 and move to plan number 2, if that even exists?
Yeah, I mean, I think she could probably just maybe move a little bit with like her feet. Because again, she was good on late in 38, but on 37 they both went. It was a 4-pin and then a 9-pin. But you don't want to over move and end up with a split, right? Because even though she has a double here, that's got to push, you can tell.
Yeah, she was asking for that one to lay off.
Because you have to remember your opponent can also turn around and have the same. So you don't want to give too much away and make a drastic move and then give it away by making the wrong mistake.
What's the level of patience in this scenario that you feel like you got to have if you're Melanie, right? Because you don't want to, as you just said, basically take a risk that will ultimately hurt you,
right? But
still show some level of patience, to watch the opponent maybe give you some opportunities late.
Yeah, I don't think there's like really the right answer, right? Because it's a hindsight 2020, right? You end up losing the match, you go, I should have done it.
Sure.
If you end up winning it, you go, your patience paid off. So, I mean, I really think, I would always say, what is it, through 5?
Yeah, it's a good call.
Through 5 frames, I would say that's kind of when you got to go, okay, if I'm still not, if you're chasing, 20 or 30, maybe then you make that move. You make that change and go, she's clean too. She has a double.
Deep breath there from Christine. Originally from Lakewood, Colorado. Now living in Collinsville, Illinois. And she's got 3 out of 4 to start. Both of these players looking for their first career professional title, again, national or regional. Brittany Smith won the 2024 Twin Cities Regional. She hasn't made a national show. You could argue that Melanie might be the most experienced player on the show. She's made 2 national shows. That looks pretty good there. Oh, wow.
That was a good shot. Yeah, I think now you got to see what, you make that little move on 37, see what happens. But you really have to think about, how am I going to get this ball to strike, if that's the ball you're going to throw. Converts it, though.
Now, we watched Melanie in game 3. This was on 39 and 40, and we were specifically describing a lane play and talking about break points for players down lane and what their balls were doing or what they weren't doing. And Melanie was in a, I actually don't remember it was like a tealish. It looked like an Ion Pro style, but I don't know if it was.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what she was throwing. Now, this was game 3 we're talking about. She also shot 270, as we mentioned, 277. Oh, the light mixer. Got that one maybe a board or 2 right down lane. A replay of that. And you talked about it, too, if Melanie was going to be on the show in reference to this pattern. She was the straightest, we believe, of the players. Now, at the time, we were talking about Jenna Williams being involved in this top 4.
I think her and Christine are very similar.
I was going to say, right.
So, that could be really good for Brittany and Brandy, right? Keeping it up the lane.
It was a slight double dribble there, and maybe just enough, of course, to now have the red circle attached to this 8 count. 6-7. She's the first player to split here. Big thanks to Damon Sirocco, tournament director. Robin Graves, tournament directing from afar. Old Trusty, which is the spare ball. She said that was the most important ball in her bag. Speaking of Christine, she talked about probably adding a little bit more surface to her Obsession Tour. She actually started on the fresh this morning with the GB5, and that's where she kind of ran into trouble. Thought the ball was going to be, strong enough. Went to the Obsession Tour, that back half, and that's when things started to really turn around. Said she also might throw an NV Tour and an NV Tour Pearl. First couple shots, they looked NV Tourish, but hard to tell. Just like that. 6-10.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's that lane, or again, right, they're playing more on top of each other, so if it's just starting to hook a little early, or if she just missed in. Again, we don't really get the opportunity to ask him right before they start where you look, so you just kind of have to tell.
Nice spare made. All of a sudden, just like that, right? You know, and it moves fast. Melanie taking a re-rack here.
And that's what we talked about, right, Paige? And she, especially on this where we watched, it happen very quick, right? All it takes is that little one little miss, and now here's a split, and now she has the opportunity to obviously step up and take the lead. So, like, that's where you just have to stay patient, make your spares. This isn't going, like we said, wasn't going to come out and be a 240, was going to possibly, you know, that was going to put you in a good spot.
Every one of these matches probably will come down to the 10th frame. It could be, of course, in the lower scoring variety. Could she be the first to double? Light mixer for the win. I mean, she threw the first 4, right? Kind of high flush for some, 9-pin, 2 wrap 10s, and a 4-pin. The light mixers that have been about 2 boards right, I think, of where she's looking, give or take, down lane, have carried.
Carried, yeah.
That, our friends, is bowling. Looking for 3 in a row. There it is. Some of those voices in the crowd, a lot of support here for Melanie McDaniel. Her parents, Marianne, Dad Tony. Mom Marianne, Dad Tony here. Her sister Danielle is in the building. I mentioned Christine, of course. She's got Brandy here with her. Of course, Brandy, the #1 seed in this match. Brittany Smith, the #2 seed if you're just joining us. But they have some additional friends like Kendall, who is intently watching and focused on Christine's shot here. 7th frame, much better, and it shows. It's a really good shot there. That was one where she felt like she had to have it, right? Melanie responds immediately, nice 3-bagger. She's coming off a split and a 6-10 conversion. That was one where she felt like she had to strike there. Help kind of ease that momentum that Melanie is starting to put together.
Right. It's kind of like, if she can double here, it's kind of like I'm still here.
Well, is she still here? She still is, because that was a good shot. She even had to come back and kind of give us a little bit of a little wry smile there. As a player, right, that's one you know you felt that one was pretty good. And obviously you don't get the carry, and it's like, and then all you can do is smile to prevent the frustration.
Right. Yeah, you know it wasn't your best, but it also wasn't your worst. And it was put it close enough to possibly strike. And of course, you know, when you're bowling, it's like, of course it didn't. Why would it?
Well, thought maybe the past success here in this building that Christine, formerly Gill, now Polanski, has had. She led the Peoria sectional back in 2011 as a member of the McKendree Bearcats. The intercollegiate singles championships, she again led the sectional of the individual portion to advance to the ISCs. Melmac. Oh.
It's the trip 4. I was going to say that was in off her hand.
That was, I think it was the 270 game where she tripped a 4-7-9 or 10 or something.
Like all at one time, yeah. We turned it on and it was like that.
All of a sudden, after 4 consecutive 9 spares, Melanie has dialed up a 4-bagger. Max score for Christine Polanski, 215. Out of trouble, 9-pin. Well, you can hear the support. Now, I've got beef with Melanie because I hear people calling her Mel, and she told me that we should not ever call her Mel. So I got to talk to her about this. It's fair.
Maybe only her family is allowed to.
That's fair. You know, we all have a name that only our families can call us. All right, big 9th and 10th coming up here for Christine, as Melanie can max out for 236, but pacing, of course, in the 220s, which would mean if Christine can find a way to strike here and at least throw 2 in the 10th, she will make Melanie work and at least mark. First things first, 9th frame, and you saw that one hook. Three, 6, 10. There's a good look at it. What'd you see here, Courtney?
I think it was just, again, she put surface. I believe I watched her put surface on that. And I think she missed in, but I also think that's to the point where they're kind of all hitting, so the ball just seemed to hook early. It wasn't even that she missed in, like, as bad as I think the result made it seem. I just think with that surface, it just hit that spot and kind of went sideways. Which, again, that's going to be, right, if you watched Melanie's last 2 shots, right? Trip to 4-9, left the get the 4 up, left the 9. That same spot. So it's going to be interesting who can control moving that little bit left and hitting that spot. Because you did have these two playing very similar. So that spot's going to obviously burn up a lot quicker. Which I don't think we saw in qualifying because they weren't all playing together.
Absolutely. It's always crazy what can happen during a step ladder to a pair of lanes with practice.
And even that does the same, right? That's a good shot.
It was a great shot. And, boy, this started so well for Polanski. With a big-time double to start, that was a nice kind of I'm here moment, right, to your opponent. I don't think she's maybe 1 or 2 bad shots.
I think that ball just started to go earlier and hit that spot. And, again, whatever they did, you know, in qualifying, it was the moving left was scary, right? You didn't want it to, so could have just been a slight move. She's still going to shoot 190. That's what we talked about. And it could win the next 2 matches. We have no idea.
Absolutely. This one is mathematically complete. Melanie is going to advance and face the number 2 seed, Brittany Smith. But let's give Christine Polanski her flowers. First event she's bowled PWBA since the Northern Colorado Regional in October of 2023. And much like her good friend Brandy, they both come back and make the show. That's pretty impressive. And that's a pretty extended break for both of those players. Polanski shoots 191. Shout out to her parents as well, Don and Julie Gill, and of course husband Dylan. The Bearcats of McKendree kind of keeping it in the family. Didn't Drew go to McKendree too?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Y'all like McKendree. Bearcat. I see y'all. This one's over, so Melanie's going to get a look at another bowling ball here in the 10th frame.
Melanie McDaniel will advance.
And there's the official announcement from Damon as Melanie hits some pins.
How about a round of applause for Christine Polanski. Christine, great bowling today.
Great bowling indeed. Again, 224 in the final game, but plus 126 for her final 4 for Christine to get to the number and pass Jenna Williams. Christine's going to take $650 for her efforts today. Champion will take home $2,200. All right, folks, coming up next, as Melanie McDaniel officially in the books, 225 to 191. We have our first bowling ball giveaway. It is coming up next. Get out of full screen mode right now, because I don't want to hear no excuses today that I didn't see the lower third. So get out of full screen mode right now. First, a word from Storm. More bills to pay, and then a bowling ball giveaway. Next, you're watching the 2025 PWBA Peoria Regional here on Bowl TV.
What is it about bowling that captivates us so much? Mastery of the game is impossible, but perfection is just within reach. Success seems to lie 60 feet ahead, but the real battle takes place 6 inches between your ears. So if no matter how many times you fail, you would still do anything, and I mean anything, just to get 1% better. We know exactly how you feel.
Welcome back. Bowling ball giveaway time in between matches here. Our top 4 in the opening match. Melanie McDaniel defeated Christine Polanski 225 to 191. Our first bowling ball giveaway is from who, Mr. Producer? Courtesy of Motive. Again, get out of full screen mode so you can see the lower third prompts. The first lower third prompt will give you a 45-second countdown. Once that is complete, you will then see another countdown that will allow you to click Submit Entry, and that is all you have to do. 60 seconds actually on the countdown first. And then all you have to do is click Submit Entry, and you are in. Can I guarantee you will win? Absolutely not. But would you give yourself
Someone
a chance to
will
win? Yes, you will. By
Can't win
clicking
unless you give yourself a chance.
Submit Entry. And as the old saying goes, you cannot win if you don't get in. All right, with that said, Courtney, as we watch Brandy take a few shots, of course, as the number 1 seed, she will hit the pair next. Melanie down now on the warm-up pair, kind of staying loose. And see her down there shooting spares. Brittany Smith, especially of the 2 players we just watched, is going to be the furthest left. Maybe even a Brandy once we get to that point. She was specific with regards to bowling balls and the use of the hyperdrive, which
we did not see her use when she started.
Correct. She started using that in game 4, and that is where she found the most consistent success, even though game 4 shot 231, 180, 233, 244, 208. We could see the Ion Pro solid. We did see her earlier throw an attention star S2. That was this morning. But it looks like, according to our conversation, the hyperdrive certainly could be in play. She might even have thrown a little bit of a fresh surface on it as well. How do you anticipate this one going with regard to lane play and Brittany Smith, Court?
Yeah, I mean, I think she might be, she's a little farther left, so I think she's going to get a little bit more of that hold, right? We kind of watched them get a little bit on top, right? And there was that lick hook early. She's not going to have that, but again, but if she also misses right, her miss right's going to be a lot bigger. So, but I can see her having the advantage here with the fact that she's going to be able to be a little farther left and create a little bit more angle if she wants to. Looks like she's going to start with that Ion Pro. Solid.
Congrats, Talis, by the way. You got yourself a Motive bowling ball. Please give the marketing team about 14 business days or so to reach out to you via email. It will be the email that you use to log in today and click Submit Entry. Make sure you check your spam and your junk folders as well. Again, thank you to Talis and everybody. We got one more giveaway. It will be courtesy of Hammer, and that is coming up, of course, at the conclusion of this match. Also want to thank our gold partners. You saw and heard a word from both Kegel and Storm. And, of course, Storm is the leading manufacturer of high-performance bowling balls. Visit stormbowling.com to pick your next Storm bowling ball. And always remember to bowl up a storm. And by Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the United States Bowling Congress and the Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour. Names are going to be reversed as Brittany Smith is going to go first.
She was all ready to go.
Yeah, she was ready for about 2 minutes, it felt like. She was finally had to put her ball.
I think she was trying to wait as long as she could, and then was like, nah, I got to put this down now.
First shot for Brittany Smith, the 30-year-old righty. And the light mixture goes out the gates for Brittany Smith, looking for her second regional title, and would be the second title of her career. And with regard to back-to-back years as well, winning the Twin Cities Regional last September in 2024. There's a good look at it. The first tracer down lane still does seem to be the one that you want to get your ball to. Look at the former collegiate All-American, Melanie McDaniel. That's a nice break. That's a 9 you will take, because that was a 4.710 for about 3 seconds. Look at this.
And a light one at that. She's about 12. That probably gets to about 7, 8 down light. And then.
Oh, my gosh.
That was.
Could have been a 4 or 5, 7, 10.
Can probably say that I've never seen a 4, 5, 7, 10 before.
Most importantly,
She makes a spare.
fair made. Second frame. There's one thing for sure.
That light hit, especially on that left lane.
That's carried.
I haven't seen it much on 38, but on that left lane, it's like 5 for 6.
Could that mean that 37 perhaps hooks a little bit more than 38?
Or could mean that it hooked earlier too.
Sure. Now Brittany Smith looking for her first double. Bang. From Adel, Iowa.
Looks like 17, about 9. Yeah, obviously playing a little different there.
She got later in the block. She mentioned she continued to inch further left, but her goal was to keep it between the down lane tracers. Yeah, that was the goal as she continued to migrate.
Hit the 3-pin.
She said it was so easy to miss down lane, and we saw a ton of that. Oh, it's a nice recovery there. I think she was right as I was saying. It was so easy to miss down lane.
You could tell she stood up.
She was thinking.
She saw it go down lane and go, oh no.
And also was.
And then she was like, oh, it's hooking. Yeah, come on.
That's a quick 3-bagger for Brittany Smith, who can fill it up quick too. She can strike a ton. From her Grandview University Collegiate Player of the Year. Now back to McDaniel.
That could have just been overcompensation for that first shot. Yeah.
Husband Ryan, daughter Rylan. Here Rylan's doing some cool stuff. She's got a lot of honors classes and programs. Ryan McDaniel doing what he does best. I understand he's on the golf course. Melanie said 32 holes he's supposed to be playing today.
Wow, 18 is a lot for me sometimes. 32.
So he might be in the cart right now watching.
He's got it.
But a shout out to Ryan and his crew. Watching Melanie trying to get to the title match of the Peoria Regional, but very impressive opponent, of course, a regional champion in her own right, and Brittany Smith. Fourth frame.
That's good.
Gets the 10 out. Brittany is a deputy. I know I got some people with that fun fact. Maybe it was the Anniversary Open. But her career is in law enforcement. Nice. 4 in a row. So she's a deputy in Dallas County in Iowa.
I did not know that.
Oh, I got you too. And another light mixer shake. I wonder, is that a common hit that carries just like normal league and or tournaments? You know, sometimes the lane condition can help play a role in which types of hits carry better.
Yeah, because I feel like there's been tournaments where people are like, I just stopped trying to go flush because like
Right.
anytime I did that, it carried. Anytime I get flush, it felt like I 10-pinned.
Oh boy, probably just a handful of inches from being a 5-bagger, and now a 4-9.
Yeah, that one.
I was just inside.
And again,
Trace.
that lane, right, has kind of had light carry. So if it does hook just that touch more, that's that difference. And again, with her rev rate being a little bit more, goes off that spot just a little quicker.
Bottle of water if she makes this
Okay.
wager.
Ooh,
Mm,
I thought.
could add a bottle of water. She gave it a run. In that situation, though, of course, she loses some count. And now McDaniel in a similar kind of situation where she had an early double against her opening match opponent in Christine Polanski. She was in the midst of 4 consecutive 9 spares before she turned that into a 4-bagger. Now an opening from Smith.
And again, oh, that one stayed right there.
Capitalizing is McDaniel.
Yeah, that one also looked like that missed in, but that one was able to stay right there. Maybe she moved a little left.
It's Melanie's giving some the opening match vibes here. Sure, Governor State University, current student athletes and those who will be beginning school. Uh-oh. And that one was actually, what we would say, probably her first true, maybe bad shot. And now 1.5 matches. It was easy to get 3 off the right today.
Yeah. Especially as people, I think, were figuring out how to really play them. So
She'll get some noise if she makes this. And now she will take 2. Lead still belongs to Brittany Smith. Shout out to our down lane and now side photographer, Carrie Ogle, making the trip 2.5 hours from St. Louis. Carrie's fantastic with her work. Photographs a ton of concerts in St. Louis, FC soccer club there as well. And has gotten into bowling these last couple of seasons, which is fantastic.
that's
Smith
got a
back
hook
at it.
too.
Oh my. That one was right off the gut. No chance. If that one had actually hooked back after knowing those weren't hooking earlier, I would have just got up and left. Like, no, you guys got it. Brittany Smith is amazing if that ball were to hook back. All of a sudden, we got ourselves a situation here, though. I felt like that was the thing, too. It happened so quickly. It could just go away. Your look
Right.
could just go away. That's online.
Got a chance.
There it is.
That's a big make.
Could be the BPA moment of the match right there.
Because that keeps her lead, obviously, more, to a bigger, right? I mean, you would have given away, what would that have been if she would have went even 6-3? That would have turned to a 10-pin match at that point.
Yeah, she would have essentially relinquished it, especially if Melanie steps up and doubles.
Right. Just how you draw it up, they say.
Now, can she capitalize?
That looks better.
That one was interesting because as it was traveling, of course, now we're watching on an angle from our booth setup. We're to the right of 37 and 38. but I could just see it kind of wiggle as it was
Yeah.
making its move.
And that's where I'm wondering now if she goes to that hyperdrive, right? Something to pick up a little bit earlier. So where that ball's going through it, that ball pick up.
And on cue, there it is, right there in hand. Nice call from Courtney Ermish. The hyperdrive takes care of the spare. You get a fist bump for that. Well done.
Thank you.
That's why you're the best in the business. I don't know why you don't do this more often.
I
You'd be
try.
like, you'd be like, ah, I got stuff to do. I'm gonna go bowl.
Wild. Why would you do such a thing, Courtney? Good news is I can still come in here when I bowl it sometimes.
Back to McDaniel.
Looks good. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Oh my goodness. The hesitation.
That almost went from I thought they were going to fall to they might stand back up again.
Wow.
This 5 pin.
Well, the pins have taken us
5
on a
goes
ride.
into the 4, and then I was like, oh no, the 5 and the 7 might stand.
It's been a great day here in Peoria in Central Illinois. Landmark Lanes, and it is a landmark here. It's a big-time player in the bowling industry, and especially in Central Illinois. Now professional bowling and professional women's bowling here in Peoria. McDaniel. Bang.
That just held right there.
On a rope.
Looks like she may have moved a little farther left. Not by much, but maybe just paralleled a couple boards. Getting away from that little OB, out of bounds as you call it.
Look at that, and Hosen is awake. 232, the max score for Melanie McDaniel.
There's
Hyperdrive.
that switch.
Brittany Smith. Oh, you betcha.
That ball just picked up right maybe a couple feet earlier. Just doesn't go through that spot. Just starts to pick up. And the nice thing about with that too, right? Bigger ball picks up and might bleed off too, right? Maybe you get that trip 4 pin because the ball is hooking earlier and kind of laying off for you. Well, that's the hope. Doesn't always happen.
Max score for Brittany Smith is 242. If she does not strike here, Melanie could step up and be in a shutout situation. And the 9th and 10th.
Oh.
Wow. 9 pin. And that could be the difference in bowling for another regional title or settling for a 3rd place finish, potentially.
Wow.
What a shot.
But again, perhaps just make this.
Brandy Kordaleski. Almost called her Brandy Branca. I caught it, though.
You said you'd happen at least once.
I didn't technically do it.
That's true. But you called yourself out. I would have just left.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, oh, no. And now, the word or the phrase of the day that we've used a lot is an insult to injury. And now, obviously, the job not done here for Melanie. She's still got business to handle. It doesn't get any easier, but maybe the swing just gets a tad bit looser to make this good shot here in the 9th frame.
Oh,
It's
that's
right by a ton, and she's out of trouble, though. That's about the best break in that situation that you could ask for. Makeable, but certainly choppable. We were talking about, 2-8 combos earlier and how we might shoot them. So interesting how this is played out because
Seems like at both points you thought one of them had it.
yeah, I mean, she can't shut out Brittany Smith
Correct.
anymore. And now she takes care of the spare. We said most of these matches might come down, every single one of them probably comes down to the 10th frame. So Melanie now, she strikes out, she will shoot 209. That would force Brittany Smith to get all 3 in the 10th to win by 1.
That's right again.
Oof. You talking about a count loser. The bucket and the biscuit. She gets 5 on the first shot. Now she's looking at 194. Of course, this is not everybody's favorite spare, but has to make it to force Brittany Smith to still have to mark.
Right.
As Brandy Kordoleski watches from our left. Must have. And chops it. And now just 4 pins in the 10th frame for Brittany Smith, and she is going to advance. A good tournament for Melanie McDaniel, but obviously didn't see that one going the way that it did, the way that unfolded.
I felt like there was both points that I felt like beginning you thought Brittany had it right, and then there was that little hiccup, and then Melanie seemed like she was in the right spot. It can, well, like we talked about, this pattern seems like it can happen so fast. And when you need it, this pattern was not something.
Yeah. It's, tell you, I mean, I know it's collegiate bowling tryout season, but this might be one you throw out for your team tryouts. It's tough. And with that, Brittany Smith officially now to the title match. She will face Brandy Kordoleski. Still a little bit of shock. Missed right in the 9th, able to leave just the 1-2-8. Made that spare, speaking of Melanie. Then, of course, the bucket and the biscuit, the bucket with the 7-pin. She took off the bucket, which is rare, and the 7-pin
I really thought she made it. It was kind of a strange way to leave that.
Nonetheless, 199 to 183. Brittany Smith will advance, and she will face Brandy Kordoleski, bowling her first PWBA event since the 2022 PWBA Tour Championship. The title match is coming up, but first, we'll hear a word from a proud gold partner in Lane Talk, and then our final bowling ball giveaway of the afternoon, courtesy of Hammer. The championship is next here at the PWBA Peoria Regional on Bowl TV.
Got some exciting news.
We now have a pro subscription
for bowlers who really want to take their game to the next level.
The biggest thing, you can tag and label each game.
Whenever you use a ball, whatever oil pattern that you're on,
you can now track the ball's performance and compare balls side by side.
It is incredibly powerful, and it is going to help you analyze your game.
Boom! Try Lane Talk Pro free for 1 month. Upgrading the app, and we'll see you on Lane Talk.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Title match is now set. As Brandy Kordoleski, the #1 seed, set to take her warm-up shots. Big thank you to all of our proud gold partners, including Brunswick, leader in bowling balls, shoes, equipment, and apparel. Find out the latest products, promotions, and news from Brunswick and shop online at brunswickbowling.com or through your local pro shop today. Again, that is brunswickbowling.com or through your local pro shop today. The leader in bowling balls, shoes, equipment, and apparel, that is Brunswick. All right, so Hammer bowling ball giveaway, that is coming up next. This 41-foot pattern, it's been a doozy, and there it is on your screen, 3.18 to 1. Ice and ice, which we also talked about as kind of being the ultimate equalizer, if you will. If it was already difficult enough, we added in ice to the 26.25 mils. Courtney, what stood out quickly to you about, again, this pattern?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just the way that we kind of talked about the topography of possibly the gutter, right, being kind of on that tilt downward. So again, it caused not being able to play right, which, you know, possibly may have made this pattern a little bit easier, but causing everyone to get left. But because of that ice kind of having it slide right through it and the topography of kind of that fall off, it really made it hard. That made your miss room obviously minimal. And again, we talked about how far that goes down the lane. And so if you missed in, you also didn't have that much miss room. You know, your ball was still hooking. So it's kind of what we saw. But I do think that the way that this has played out, all four of these athletes have done a good job of kind of making this look a lot more pleasant than what we saw in the beginning.
You got that right. you got that right.
Because the first couple games we watched, I was like, man, this could get ugly really quick. But again, they are all, right, I would say that almost all of them are very knowledgeable, and so they learned from what they either made a mistake or did well, and they all want, you know, to have their ball do the right thing, so they're probably, you know, they're probably all in similar areas doing the right thing, which helps.
All right, the Hammer Bowling Ball giveaway is officially underway. Again, you're waiting for the first countdown to elapse, and then you will see an opportunity to simply click Submit Entry. You had to get out of full screen mode to make sure you see the lower third prompts. I thought I did. I meant to get the possible bowling ball choices for Brandy. We know that she was throwing an Obsession Tour for a good portion of qualifying. The ball that she was just throwing was not an Obsession Tour. So we'll try to get word from Brandy right as the match, right before it begins. Diana J, just in time for the final match. That's right. Good to see you. The traveling queen is Diana Jesse. You got a few more seconds to click Submit Entry. Again, big thank you to all of our gold partners. It's been a good day. And a nice reminder of just how important professional bowling is to this area of the country and this state, in particular, Central Illinois, and of course, Peoria as the city. For upwards of 20 years, a lot of PBA competition went down right in this building. Congratulations to Angie, hyphen 72. Angie hyphen or dash 72. You've got yourself a Hammer Bowling Ball. If you missed the earlier announcement of our first winner from Talus, give it about 7 to 14 business days. You should lean toward the 2 weeks time to receive an email, right? It's going to be in an email form from the Bowl TV marketing squad. They will get in contact with you. Make sure you check your spam or junk folders in your email. If you don't hear anything, this goes for you too as well, Talus. If you don't hear anything after a couple weeks have gone by, please reach out to marketing@bowl.com. All right, Brandy is all complete with her warm-up shots. The former Maryville University head coach moved on.
This is it. One game, two competitors. Put your hands together. Pick out your favorite player here.
To take a position at McKendree, her alma mater.
You want to try and say what it all was?
I'm going to get to it. I'm going to wait till she's up to bowl so we can go down. She'll have 2 frames worth so I can get through it in 2 frames.
Looks like we're ready here. Brittany, good luck.
You will need 2 frames. You might need 4.
This is for the Peoria regional title. Smith to start.
It's got to go.
And Smith to strike.
It's a 2-pin to roll.
Brittany Smith and didn't bowl any events past the U.S. Women's Open. In fact, I'll tell you more about that in just a bit. But first, it's Brandy. Kordaleski. Bang. Shout out to Brandy's dad, Bob. We say hello to you. So after leaving Maryville, right, and she helped begin that program, handed it off nicely. Of course, Lauren Russo ends up being hired to take over that job, and she and Matt have done a fantastic job. Brandy then went to work at McKendree, again, her alma mater, as the assistant athletic director for development. She has since taken a new role as the associate director of alumni and constituent engagement. She does a lot of fundraising to keep it short. And she's going to do more if she wins this tournament, because McKendree will say they've got a PWBA champion also working in the within the university athletic department. Nice early double for Kordaleski. Now back to Smith, who rolled the 2 in frame 1. Now
Good
wraps the
shot
10
there.
in frame 2. It was a good shot. I went right over 10. If balls had been right over 10, maybe just left of 10, they have been not strikes every single time.
But they're like wrap 10s
But
or.
they've been at least 9. Like
Right.
They've got at least 9, and that's from every competitor.
Right. Very few have not turned into 9.
So Brittany Smith, her wife Sarah, they are expecting their 3rd child, due in November 5th, in fact. But her wife was having something called a round ligament pain as she leaves the 3-6. And that was very painful in the hip-ish area. And she tried to bowl. She actually went to the ER
Ooh.
like prior to the anniversary open, and then she tried to practice. It was just them two. I think they bowled maybe 2 games, if that, and the pain was just too much. And so they ended up having to withdraw from the anniversary open and then decided to just play it safe. It has no effect on the baby, but it does, and it's extremely painful for mom as Brittany handles the spare. So they opted to just not bowl. Of course, Brittany could have bowled. Sarah was telling her, hey, you can bowl, but Brittany then said, let's just save the rest of my vacation time for next season. And so they can bowl as many events as they can. They ended up bowling essentially 75% of the season this year. They've got 2 kids right now. Again, Callie 4, Asher 3, and a baby boy on the way. Back to Brandy. Oh, my. Second 4-9 we've seen. One from Smith and now one from Kordaleski here.
Definitely, it was in, but I thought the way I thought for sure it was going, and then it kind of laid off, and I thought for sure she was going to get away with maybe 1, but that's just not how bowling ever works, you know.
Got that right. She's throwing the damn good verge. I love it when bowling brands and manufacturers put in words that allow me to just use profanity.
You're like, thank you. Can't yell at me for that.
Oh,
That's
make
got
it.
a chance. Oh.
All right, just like that, Smith on the bench grabs the lead. If you're just joining us to recap, our opening match featured Christine Polanski, formerly Christine Gill, also of McKendree lore and fame, a teammate of Brandy Kordaleski, formerly Brandy Brinka. She bowled against Melanie McDaniel. McDaniel with a win 225 to 191. And a very close match we just watched, Brittany Smith with a narrow victory over Melanie, 199-183. That one came down to the 9th and 10th frames. Now our title match. 3 out of 4 here for Brandy, and that 4-9 as you just saw on the right lane. Speaking of children.
Interesting. Brittany's going back to that Ion Pro. Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, you're
mean
good.
to.
That's okay. That was an interesting moment.
I just saw her pick it up and go.
That you're the analyst. you tell me what's happening. We got all day to talk about kids. Ball change.
Oh, 10 goes late.
Yeah, gets out of trouble.
And see, you can just kind of see the difference of why she switched, right? That ball got down the lane. Right. Looked like a good shot, and then it kind of just more had that back end. Doesn't get that 4 out, but right when she wanted before, that when she was using that ball, it kind of went through it. Now went to the hyperdrive, so it picked up earlier. Now she's obviously must be seeing something that she wants something to go longer. A little bit cleaner. Whoa, she would have made it.
Yes, she would have. Spare is
And not
made.
the ideal way.
Again, if collegiate bowling is, something you're unfamiliar with, or maybe you have kids and you're wondering what can collegiate bowling do for you, and you can look no further than some of these players that we've been talking about. Of course, within our respective stepladder today, Brittany Smith, a first-team All-American and Player of the Year in the 2015-16 season. It's a good break there. That one was dead left off the hands.
I'm actually, it looked a little bit farther left now that we just watched that replay, but I'm surprised it actually hit the head pin at first, the way that she came off of her hand. Nonetheless, a good break.
Out of Kordaleski. Ow. I mean, she threw shots like that throughout the day. Except we don't know, and I feel like at this point, since she's using this ball, she probably used it at some point. I'm guessing maybe closer to the end of the block. But
we saw her here, and she had that, and then remember she went down to here, and it was over, and she was using
right,
an obsession to her. So
yeah,
makes me think that she maybe used this in the beginning, and then went to the obsession. Maybe she did. I did see her hit this with surface before they started, like way back practices. So maybe she felt like she could get a little bit more room with this.
Branca was also a first-team All-American at McKendree the 11-12 season with shots just like that. Two-year-old daughter Chloe, gotta be clapping. Gotta be some mommies and clapping going down.
That's mommy.
That's right. Back to Smith.
It's gotta go.
What does go mean when you reference in that way?
See, I think I use it both times. Like I use it both, like it's gotta go longer.
Okay.
But in that reference, I was like, that's gotta hook.
Gotcha.
I've noticed I say it both times.
Well, for the bowlers who, those watching who hear that,
Right.
and may have a question about it or may want to use it somewhere later down the road.
But I've also used it like that's gotta go longer. So you just can't be wrong if you say that, you know? Just do something. It does convert to 2-8. Teach me how to make that spare.
I can teach you how to Dougie as well.
I can Dougie.
Okay.
Not well, but I can Dougie.
Well, we'll need video evidence of this.
No. Good thing we don't have a camera.
Well, we will.
All right. It's not one facing us at the moment.
Smith is clean through 6 here. She's at a point, though. She's got to put them together.
That's got to push.
Brittany, a 3-time first-team All-American, National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association. Brandy Branca, a 2-time first-team All-American. Again, while at McKendree, Brittany Smith at Grandview. Again, the power of collegiate bowling still showing up, and it's going to continue to do so throughout professional bowling, professional women's bowling. Smith here, no doubles through 7 frames. Max score 225. Back to Brandy.
Looks pretty good.
Boy, it's if Kendall knew exactly what was about to take place.
Yeah, she can obviously see that right from behind,
Yeah.
and she said take the 10 immediately. So I think she could tell that that was obviously not where she has been hitting. And it was correct. It was late, right? That 5 went late. So she knew. Should have listened to her. You just tell us what's going to happen over there.
Brandy was a big part of the relaunch season, or seasons, I should say. Made a national show, the Sonoma County Open in 2017, when they were just downright brutal. Still to this day, it could be the maybe the most difficult lane condition, like aside from the U.S. Women's Open. But there's some U.S. Women's Open patterns that were easier than the Sonoma County Open pattern of 2017. She was the number 2 seed. Sierra Strepp ended up winning that title. Of course, we had some different formats. The qualifying and match play happened in Sonoma County at double-decker lanes. It was taped at the major location, which I don't remember where that was. I think it was in Baton Rouge, actually, at the site of the
She
Queens.
didn't like that one. No?
Didn't like it, but maybe it could lean on it. And we'll go in front of the 10-pin. Speaking of that, messenger, just take a look at it.
And it was just a little late 5. Tried to roll into it. I mean, I think right now, Randy's got to be okay with that. She's in a point now where she just hit the 1-3 and make your spare. Didn't like that last shot. Ended up with just a 10-pin. Convert it and move on.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, we've seen a late single pin misses already. One from Brittany Smith in her match against Melanie McDaniel in the semifinals. That one ultimately did not come back to bite or haunt Brittany Smith. She actually ended up winning the match. Unfortunate open frame from Melanie McDaniel in the 10th was the difference there. But now Smith with new life as Branca. Max score is now 223. Smith, no place, no better time, perhaps the first half of a double. And there it is. It's a good education or masterclass, if you will, with regard to knowing your equipment and the confidence to make switches.
And again, that could have been because Brandy, right? She doubled, had that 4-9, but then had a 3-bagger. So Brandy probably thought she was in a, I have to find a way to double here if I'm going to give myself a chance.
Still in that mode. Oh, boy, that's a break there. Just the 2-pin. That one was sailing. Get caught by a difficult wave and current.
Yeah, ball just never saw it. Just kind of talked about the ice, right? Just glided right through it.
Brandy still in control of the match. She can step up and shut out Brittany Smith now because of that non-strike in the 9th frame. Max score for Smith, 205. mentioned the last time Brandy bowled a PWBA event was 2022 at the Tour Championship. Now just going to dig deep. Remember the moments of why she competes. 9 frame. There it is. She is in the catbird seat.
The what?
The catbird seat. She's in front.
I mean, I figured, but I've just never heard that. Like the driver's seat?
Yeah.
The catbird?
Unbelievable.
I think you just aged yourself, I fear.
I am 41 years old.
I know.
No doubt about that.
You didn't have to tell everybody. You just say you aged yourself in comparison to me.
This is a must-strike situation. Anything less, Brittany Smith will have a chance to win. For a regional title. Oh, no. 7-10. Wow. The left lane, unkind to Brandy here. These last 2 frames, one in the form of a missed single, and now a blower 7-10.
Ooh,
It
that's
bounced the wrong way. Now, there is deadwood there. We'll see if it will be cleared prior to Brittany Smith's shot. It's not on her lane, so certainly no effect there. This one is far from over. Still a lot of scenarios. All of them involve count. First shot, 10th frame, mix them up. Well, she made the job about as simple as you can make it by getting the first one in the 10th. Now 7 and 2 shots. And Brittany Smith will corral her second career PWBA regional title. Post it. Well, and there's 7. Not the way she would have perhaps preferred it, but it's okay. Sometimes when it's your day, it's your day. Her opponent certainly gave her some opportunities late in her 2 matches, and she was able to capitalize. Some good ball choices, switching balls during matches back and forth.
Right.
And Brittany Smith is your PWBA Peoria Regional Champion here in 2025. How about Brandy Kordaleski? First tournament action at this level since 2022, where she had finished 23rd at the Tour Championship. But today is about Brittany.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the General Manager of Landmark Recreation Center, Mr. Vince Pollard. Vince, I think you have some crystal for Brittany here.
Crystal.
There is some crystal. That's right. That's right. Clap it up. We will talk with Brittany Smith here here in the Bowl TV booth.
One more time, Brittany Smith, the PWBA Peoria Regional Champion. Congratulations, Brittany.
A couple of pictures from, of course, Carrie Ogle. We are getting set up. We will talk with Brittany. We'll expand upon certainly what's to come here in the near future. We talked about children, November 5th, as she just discussed. So there's a possibility she may not be able to make the showdown, but I'm sure she will do her best as long as things work the way they should work. Champions photo still taking precedence at the moment. There's some good-natured fun happening between Melanie McDaniel and Brittany Smith. And Brittany now 2 for 2. It's kind of like that Carson Lukosius whenever she shows up. She just wins and makes the title match every single time. And now Brittany Smith, 2 for 2. Got to give a lot of credit, of course, to Brandy Kordoleski. And I don't know how much she really practiced prior to. I did see her post, and so there were a few games, in fact. But I know she's busy in her role at McKendree. And even though it was a regional, right? It was just 8 games, but it does take a significant amount of ability to step out here after 3 years of no competition at this level, and then to finish second and have a chance to win the title.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Especially for when I talked to her this morning, she was very nervous. So to control them is pretty impressive.
Well, I'll tell you who wasn't nervous, at least on the surface. We'll find out in a moment if she actually was nervous. And that is Brittany Smith, today's champion. Your second regional title, Brittany. And obviously, there were a lot of things that you really didn't have control over, especially late in each of those matches. But you got some breaks, and you were able to capitalize. Ultimately, what was the difference in both matches, of course, with Melanie and a title match against Brandy?
The title match the first match with Melanie, this is about how all of my games went today. Like, I felt so good. I threw it so good. I started with a 4-bagger, and then it's just gone. Everything was burning up, which is exactly why I played back and forth all day between surface and non-surface. So in that moment, I balled back up to the hyperdrive, which I thought was a good move. I just couldn't get there, and then I missed an easy makeable, and I truthfully thought that was the match right there. Those are
sure
usually game overs. So. And then the title match with Brandy, I did get to resurface, so I touched both of them. And they were very, very touchy for me. Like, it just didn't matter. I get one right, I 2-8. I get a little left, I 6-10. I just felt very, very stuck, which is exactly earlier today, like why I jumped so far in so quick. And I think that's what I wish I kept doing it, but I was running out of frames. I thought it was too late, again, on that title match, because I knew Brandy just needed to throw the first one to shut me out. And a mark in general was going to put a lot of pressure on me when I didn't have a good look at the moment. So, yeah, it was intense and very nerve-wracking, and it's extremely hot in here. So
it is very warm in here.
That makes the nerves like extra when I can feel my face boiling.
Yeah, it is warm in here. We were talking about that. Yeah, when we saw, did you see that when you had the Ion Pro to start, right? And then you went to the Hyperdrive. Did you feel that the Ion Pro was just going through it? Because that's what we kind of saw.
Yep,
And I was like,
yep.
I was thinking like maybe you're going to switch to the Hyperdrive because to see it a little bit earlier, and that's kind of seen what it did. But then it seemed like it did that, but you needed the opposite then with it.
Yes, and that's why, like, you know, I was resurfaced to start that second match. Started with the hyperdrive since that's what I left off with, and then I just was like, the shot that I thought was both shots were good. My right lane was good, my left lane was good. They were all close, you know, they weren't dead on, but I wasn't even close to the head pin, like even close to striking. So I'm like, I don't know. I went to Sarah and I was like, do you think the left lane, if I would have thrown the blue ball on the shot I had on the left lane, if it would have held? And she said, probably not quite held, but 4-pinned. So that's why I was like, all right, we're going to go back inside the tracer because on fresh you were able to start outside the tracer. And then basically the rest of the day I went inside the tracer. I was probably one of the few that was that deep because I felt like I got a lot of hold in there and I had a little bit more wiggle room than playing with the tracer.
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw all day, that it was like 10 was good, but once you hit 8, you were like, maybe we're going to get back or it's going to get 6.
Right.
So, like, I think that's the right move, obviously, was to go in of it and kind of just trying to find the right ball that gives you the right thing, which it's kind of hard, though, too, when we were kind of talking about how it was going to be a little bit different because the first match was a little straighter players, so they were more up it. So I was like, I think you had kind of more of that advantage going in because you were going to have more hold because they weren't really touching you in the sense of that. We watched their match kind of go, their ball started to hook earlier and earlier because they were on top of it. And I was like, Brittany's probably going to be left of that. She's going to catch the hold, which that first match I think you had. And then the second match is kind of, but again, as you kind of go in, this pattern seemed very touchy as it was. So it just kind of seems like just getting the right ball in your hand and hopefully matching up enough to kind of get through.
I think I could have even tried another ball too, but like I just was so comfortable in the two that I had, was trying to just make shots and be on top of it. If I was, you know, not as close in the match and, you know, I was like strike or nothing, maybe I would have gave it a run, but it was still close enough that if I could stay close to the double head pin, catch a quick double, you know, I was right there. So it was just a matter of making good shots, and my light ones have been carrying all day, so I knew that's where I needed to be because,
Well, speaking of Sarah real quick, you talked to Damon and the regional showdown, of course, and you said you don't know if you'll be there yet because you are due, you and your wife Sarah are due November 5th.
Yep.
I talked about on the air, you guys decided to stop bowling after the U.S. Women's Open.
Yep.
As she was dealing with some pain and obviously didn't want to put any stress additionally on mom and or baby. So to come away with this win, with the understanding of, you know, what you guys have been through the last couple of weeks, how does this win feel, all things considered, from the family perspective?
It feels great because after the U.S. Open, we had all intentions of obviously continuing tour stops. And once we backed out of Green Bay, and of course we have that break between U.S. Open and Green Bay, so we didn't get a whole lot of practice, started practicing to see if we were going to go to Green Bay, found out, okay, this isn't going to work. And then I hadn't bowled. Like, I just got done bowling for 8 weeks straight. Like,
right,
it's
you want
fine.
the break.
I have nothing coming up. Like, whatever, I'll get in there before the regional, knowing I plan on bowling this one because it landed on my weekend off work. So I had intentions to bowl this, and then I did go in and practice. I had a tournament last weekend, too. I went in and practiced twice last week. I ripped my thumb wide open before starting the tournament last weekend. So I was like, oh, this is what I get for not bowling for 2 more months. And I have this, like, I don't know if it's real or whatever, but the chiropractor says it's like piriformis syndrome in my hip. So it likes to work really hard when my hamstring should be working, and it causes a lot of pain. It makes it hard to post shots. So I've been battling with that as well. So being back out here on this level, it just feels amazing. And if I had to make a guess, we'll make it to Florida.
I was going to say.
It'll be a new baby first family vacation. I'm not sure how Sarah's going to handle 3 kids while I bowl, but we'll figure it out.
Well, the good news is there's a lot of moms on tour.
I was going to say, if I were to take a guess between the two, you guys,
Right.
you're going to make it.
Who could give some advice?
She said she might be bowling.
That's what she says. She's already. I was like, look it up. Is it the first or second week? She saw it was the first week.
It is
and
the
I'm
first
like,
weekend, yes.
maybe if you go early again, which we have always, but we've really been trying for this one to stay long so it can have its own
Cook a little
month.
longer.
Callie and I have October birthdays, so we're hoping this baby cooks a little bit longer and gets into November. And then she's only got 4 weeks, so I don't know.
I also wouldn't put it past her.
I
We'll
wouldn't
see.
either. The amount of times this week she asked me or told me, she's like, I keep thinking about bringing my bags. I said, don't ask me again. Like, every time we've went in to practice, mowed the lawn, done anything, she's like, oh, I'm sore the rest of the day. And I'm like, don't do those things. Don't do them.
Well, Britt.
So we'll see you both in Florida. That's what
We
we're
will.
here.
I think you
We
will.
will
And
see.
3 kids, a new baby. Are you going to be there?
We will
no,
see you.
I will not be there.
$20 an hour, hold the baby.
I
That's
now
fantastic.
that
It's not a bad deal.
I definitely will. Maybe now we can talk. We
All
can
right,
talk.
all right,
Okay.
all right. I'll get you a room in the Airbnb.
Congratulations, Brittany. But don't leave. I know you got to talk to some other people real quick. Don't leave because we're going to close the show from right here. Or maybe we're not. Are we going to? Yeah, we're going to close the show from right here. So big thank you to the Bowling Project Association of America and the BPAA Board, the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the United States Bowling Congress, and the PWBA, all of the wonderful athletes, and certainly you, the Bowl TV community and fans. We leave you with the 2025 PWBA Peoria Regional Champion, Brittany Smith. That is Regional Championship number 2 in the last 2 seasons. For Courtney Ermish, Jason Thomas, my name is Emil Williams Jr. Thank you to everyone here from Landmark Lane's wonderful staff. Vince and Cassie were fantastic. We say so long for now. September 14th, next PWBA Regional at the home of the PWBA, the Cherry Bowl in Rockford, Illinois. We will see you then. Again, until next time, be safe, be well. This has been a presentation of the Peoria Regional brought to you live right here on Bowl TV. And remember, bowling lives here. Good night.